Let's do them. How do I change it? F2. Okay. Are they in alphabetical order? They actually are. That's cool. Let's start with breach. I don't know if a lot of people know this, but you can stop bots from defusing the bomb with the ult. Or you can stop anyone, not just bots. You can stop anyone from defusing bomb with the ult. I don't know if this is obvious or not, but there's probably some people that don't know this. But you can use your ult and it'll boop them off the bomb. So if they're defusing, it'll get them. It boops him back right there. So he was on the bomb. He defused it halfway already, and it booped him back. So he was no longer able to defuse the bomb. That's really important to know, because if you're in like a 1v3 situation and you know that it's gonna be really hard to just kill all three of them, and they have someone defusing the bomb, you can stall extra time by booping them off the bomb. I feel like that tip is a little obvious, but it'll definitely help some people that don't realize it. Another thing with breach is I actually didn't know this for like the first few days, which I feel like if I didn't know it, then there's got to be other people that didn't realize it. But his flashbang, which is this ability right here, obviously it can only go through walls, right? And that's how it works. I didn't realize that it worked at a really long range. It works up to like 30 meters or something. Like I can flash through that wall right there. Blinding. I didn't realize that. I thought you always had to be like really close up to the wall like this to like flash and get through. When I can shoot it across the map like this. So if I have teammates that are about to round a corner or something and they need help, or if I'm playing in the back with a sniper and I have someone that needs help in the front, then I can shoot the flash forward and it can help them in the front. So this is his damage ability. You can do the same thing, like close or up front, and it's basically just it's a damage ability that activates over time. The best use for this ability is to get people out of corners, to lead them into getting killed. It doesn't really, it's not that effective for killing, because it can only go through walls, and also it takes like 3 seconds to actually explode. And even if they're standing like right here, they don't really take that much damage. So it's just best if it, like, let's say if someone's in that corner, right, and you know they're in that corner, then you can go like this, you can use it, and then they're forced to challenge because they can't just sit there. That's like good for clearing an area, breaching like attacking a spot, like breaching, obviously, no pun intended. And then also his ability here, this can be extended a really long distance, and then it activates. That's just how the ability works, so I don't really have a tip on that. But I feel like for the flashbang, not everyone knows that you can do it at a really long range. And also the ult, I don't know if everyone knows, but you can boot people off the bomb defusing. There's some pretty sick flash spots I'm buying, especially flashing through the shotgun 8. Yeah, there's a lot of really good flash spots for breach. The problem is the flash, you got to be like relatively close, so it's usually best to use up like when like this situation, like you're doing a corner. Also, you should probably most of the time do it upwards instead of like this, because if you do let's see, if there's like a box here or something and you go like this, then it might not go around the box to flash someone over there. But if you do it up in the air, then it's much more likely to hit someone that's hiding behind like a box or something. F2. Next one is Brimstone. All right, so Brimstone. All right, so with Brimstone, I don't really have a tip for his stim beacon, other than you can use it to fake people out sometimes. So let's say hypothetically, this is, it's just an example I can give you. Let's say there's a guy there, right? And he knows that you're somewhere in this area, but he doesn't know if you're in this corner or this corner. Well, actually, let's say he's right there, or on that corner. So he knows you're here, but he doesn't know you're here or here. You can actually use your stim beacon and throw it over there. So when he peeks the corner, he thinks that you're on that side instead of this side. Even though you won't get the effect of your stim, you can go like this, and you would get the effect of your stim. So you can swing around the corner. So you guys understand what I'm saying? So basically, you can... I've seen this in action, not by myself, but by someone else. They were trying to defuse the bomb. It was a 1v1 situation. He didn't know where the guy was that was defending. So what he did was he threw the stim beacon down, and he peeked the corner the guy that was defending ended up looking over there because he was looking at the stim, assuming that the guy was in the stim, and he peeked the corner and he was able to get a really good kill because the guy didn't realize that he was over here. So you can use the stim to like fake people out sometimes, and sometimes lead yourself to get a kill. For the smokes, I don't really have unique tips for smokes other than showing you guys like good uses of them, and I'll go to a custom match for that. All right, so what I like to do with the smokes is block off line of sight to help your team create a lot of space. So if you're attacking on B, you could put one right here, and one right here. And the reason I do all of these smokes is because the first smoke will block off any sight from the height, so you can cross for free. And this smoke will block off any sight from anyone that's playing in this area right here, so they don't have an angle to shoot your team as you walk in. So essentially, these first two smokes gave you all of this space for free that your team can move in on. And then the third smoke, after you get across these two angles, this helps you get into the bomb area to plant right here, which will block line of sight from anyone up top. So it creates all of this space for you, and that allows your team to walk into B site really, really easily. A good example for the thermite, which I have to leave this game for. All right, so the thermite. The projectile of the thermite on Brimstone is actually the exact same as the slow on Sage, which is what I was told on Reddit. So believe it or not, I don't know. I didn't actually test it. I just believed it. But something cool you can do on thermite is actually learn pre-nade spots or pre-thermite spots, or specific spots that you stand in to where you can shoot it across the map to get some effectiveness with it. So something that I did is that I learned that if you plant the bomb right there, which is a very, very common site to plant the bomb on point, you can stand in certain areas to thermite across the map to stop people from defusing. So one is you can stand right here, in between this rock and this cactus. And if you put your crosshair on this line right here, right above on the blue, and shoot it, then this should perfectly go onto that marker right there.
Right here.
So if anyone's trying to defuse the bomb right there, then that thermite will stop them from defusing. It will either kill them or stop them from defusing, which is really good because you're across the map and you can kill someone while they're trying to defuse. Smoke, thank you so much for the tier 2 sub, bro. Much love, dude. Can I get some PPX smiles in the chat? Thank you, man. Seriously, I appreciate your generosity. Real quick though for the video, since that's going to be in the video right there. Another thing is, if you guys didn't know, when you run around in Valorant, there's a circle that goes around your character on the minimap. That circle indicates the range of how far people can hear your footsteps. It's how far people can hear your footsteps, hear your reload, hear when you pick up a gun, and probably hear when you knife, like swing your knife, which is 30 meters. So if I put a marker right there,
right here,
and I run, that's 30 meters. That's how far people can hear when I'm running. But to know, the reason I'm saying this is because to hear how far someone is either planting the bomb or defusing the bomb, it's 60 meters, which is twice the distance. So if you have the bomb right there and someone tries to defuse, that's only 50 meters. So you can hear when they pick up the bomb. So you could stand like this in a safe spot, and as soon as you hear someone pick up the bomb, you can just have your crosshair ready. As soon as you hear it, you just go like this. So they'll pick up the bomb. They'll probably get like a half defuse off, and then that thermite will land and kill them. Or it depends. If you do it too late, then they might actually be able to get the defuse off completely. But the reason I say this is because you can use the thermite to stall, and you can also use your ult. One of the best uses for Brimstone is to use your ult to kill people when they're planting. And this will, for sure, if you hear the bomb pick up, if you use the ult on them, it will kill them if they don't drop the bomb immediately and run. And even if they do drop the bomb immediately and run, they'll still take a lot of damage, and it'll stop them from defusing. So what you could do is you could wait right here, wait for the defuse sound, use your ult, and then as soon as your ult is done, you can get your thermite ready. and then shoot your thermite right as the ult is about to end. They'll try and get back on the bomb, and then your thermite will be perfectly in place to kill them. So you could win, technically, you can win a 1v4 situation by doing this. Can you show the lineup again? Yeah, so you stand in between the rock and the cactus thing. So you stand in between. So you're right behind the cactus, and you're right in front of the rock. And you put your crosshair on this line right on the blue. That'll hit perfect every time. So you can do other spots on the map, on every map. That's just one spot that I found for B. You can also do other ones, like on A side. This is the one I found for A side. After you plant the bomb in that corner, which is a very, very common spot that people plant the bomb, you can come to this spot, stand on the wall, so it's a perfect line right there, and then look up, and you see how there's like that little leaf and this big leaf here? You put your crosshair right there. So right, little leaf, big leaf, you put it right here, and you shoot, and that'll perfectly land right here on the bomb spot, which covers this whole area. So if anyone's defusing the bomb, then they will die, or it won't let them defuse the bomb. So same situation, you can use your ult first. As soon as your ult is about to end, you can shoot your thermite, and then after that, like, that stalls so much time that it'll kill anyone that's trying to defuse the bomb. All right, so that's a good Brimstone tip. How do I figure this out? I just think about it like game sense. All right, so Cypher tip. If you guys didn't know, his tripwire can actually be jumped over and also crouched under. So if you're playing Cypher and you put your trap too low to the ground, someone can actually jump over it and not get hit by it, which could be a really, really bad thing for you, because if you're defending a point, and let's say you're right here watching that way, and you're relying on that tripwire giving you information if someone is coming, if they were to just go like this, you might hear them jump, but sometimes you don't, because if you're like shooting or something, if they get past it without you realizing, then they could kill you. So you got to be cautious about where you put your tripwires. Also, the same situation with if you put it too high, they could walk under it, or they could also crouch under it. But at the same time, if you put it low to the ground and they get tripped by it, it's a lot harder for them to look down and shoot than it is to just turn it like this. Like, them turning like this is a lot harder. So it's just kind of like risk versus reward on where you want to put your tripwire. All right, so for his smoke, what a lot of people like to do is they'll put the smoke next to the tripwire. So if they do hit the tripwire, what you can do is you'll activate the smoke, and they'll get wall hacked. Well, first of all, they won't be able to shoot the... If you set it perfectly, they won't be able to see where the tripwire is on the wall. This isn't a good example because of the narrow corridor, but they won't be able to see where the thing is on the wall, so it'll be harder for them to destroy it. And then they'll get wall hacked inside the smoke, and then you could shoot them. So a lot of people like to put wherever their tripwire is, they like to put their smoke there too. There's also some really advanced level tips for the smoke that I'm not going to get into exactly, but you can do a thing called a one-way smoke. And basically a one-way smoke is where you put like your smoke right here, and let's see, that's not a good example. You can put like your smoke like maybe on top of this or something. No, that's not gonna run. Cage triggered. I can't find a good example, but basically a one-way smoke means that you can see them and they can't see you. I don't know if it works with Cypher Trap because of the way that the smoke works, but I know it works for a lot of other abilities in the game. But the tripwire one should work great. All right, so for the camera, use, I don't have a specific example. It's just stuff that I've seen that other people use, is that you can actually put it in like really, really crazy spots, like inside buildings, to where people can't really see it. I don't know if I'm going to have a good spot in the practice range here, but on the maps, you can like put it inside like rooftops or inside ceilings to where you can see through cracks and see if people are crossing through. Or you can see like multiple angles from like outside the map areas, like insane spots. I don't really have a good spot for it here, but hopefully the me explaining it is a good enough example. All right, so for the ultimate, there's not really a tip for the ultimate. It's just, it is what it is. You track a body and you can see people. Let's go to Jett. I haven't played Jett. All of my knowledge from Jett is just from playing with Jett players and knowing, like playing with and against Jett players. All right, so like I said before, I haven't played Jett. All of my knowledge from Jett is playing with and against Jett players and seeing stuff. But if you guys didn't know, you can curve her smokes. So if you throw it up and then you aim down, right? Is that how it works? Or do you have to hold it? It's not going to work for me because I have mouse wheel up as a keybind. I just realized this. I think you have to hold it, right? To curve it. That's actually crazy. I'm not going to be able to play Jett because I won't be able to curve my smokes because of my keybind. I'll have to change my keybind real quick to do this. Equipment. Let's see. Mouse wheel up. We'll just do like, I don't even know. Do like 5 or something. Alright, so for Jett, you can curve your smokes. Very, very obvious. If you throw it, if you don't turn, then it goes straight. But if you throw it and hold down the keybind, you look down, it'll curve it down. This is important to know because you can use certain areas on the map to get really good smokes. So a good example was right here. I saw Kefri do this. He learned that if you go in here and you throw smokes like this and you look down, then you can get smokes to go perfectly where you want to go. So like right there is not good, but just like the Brimstone thing where you can like learn like different smokes, you could do that, and like that could block off like heaven or something. You can like line up perfect smokes to where it blocks to where you want to block. But this is just all comes with practice with you going into customs and like figuring out how to do the smokes that you want to do.
Blocking sight.
So you can learn really unique smoke spots like that. Don't really have a chip for her updraft besides you can like updraft around corner and then dash to get on top of things, but that's kind of obvious. And then her ult, don't really have a tip for her ult really, to be honest. Like you can right click and get all of your you get all of your daggers back if you kill someone, but that's obvious too. I think the main thing is just the smoke curves, learning like pre-smoke curves. Oh, I do have a tip for Jett. So if you guys didn't know, Jett has a passive ability that allows her to glide. Very obvious. It's a thing she has in the game. It's a thing she has in the game. But what most people don't realize is that you can actually use her glide ability to get onto ledges that other characters can't get into. There we go. We got it. So you can get on top of spots without using your cooldowns, which is really, really important because you can also get to other spots too. Like I can get here, here. This is really, really good because every other character in the game has to use a cooldown to get on top of this, and you won't have to use your own cooldown because you only get limited cooldowns per round. You get 2 updrafts if you were to buy it and have to use it to get here, then that would cost one of your abilities and it would cost you your money, whereas you could get here for free with Jett, with her glide ability. Alright, so that's the best tips I have for Jett. Next is Omen. Alright, we have a good Omen tip, chat. Obviously, you guys know he has his smoke grenade. The really good thing you can do with his smoke grenade is you can cover the sound of your teleport by doing smoke and teleport at the same time to get to spots that people don't realize. So if you're trying to get through, let's see if I can find like a good choke point or something. I don't know. If you go like this and put a smoke up there, and then let's see, actually get up there, and then if you do that and then teleport up there,
cover going out.
People are going to hear the audio of you teleporting onto this ledge, and they're gonna know you went up here. This isn't the most perfect example because it requires you to have to put a smoke on top of this ledge, but there's other ledges on the map that you could use that aren't as high. But I'll just use this one just to give an example. So what you can do is you can do a smoke, and then immediately while the smoke is traveling, that's when you do the teleport. So the smoke activating covers the noise of your teleport to where most people don't even realize that you actually teleported with the smoke. But you have to do the smoke first. As soon as it's about to go, then you do the teleport immediately after. All right. That's good for the teleport and the smoke. The blind ability, most people don't realize this, but the blind ability actually has a lift mechanic. So you could jump ledges. So for example, let's say like I wasn't able to jump this ledge right here. Let's say it was too far. What you could do, which is a very, very rare situation. There probably are some spots in the maps that you could use this. The very rare situation where you can jump, use your blind, and then it picks you up and brings you further.
Stealing sight.
See, watch. If I jump normal, it's like that. If I use my ult and then jump, you see how it brings me higher?
Stealing sight.
You see the difference?
Blinding. Blinding.
Pretty cool, right?
Stealing sight.
You can actually get on top of some ledges with Omen using his blind ability. Let's say you didn't have your teleport and it was like really important that you got onto this box. You could use your blind to get on top of the box. All right, and for his ultimate, just a general tip that I could give for his ultimate on like on some of the maps is it's pretty obvious, but you guys see me execute and do this before. But if you have the bomb, you could fake an attack to like A with your whole team, and then while that's happening, you can teleport all the way across to B and plant the bomb without the other team even realizing it sometimes. And what you want to do is you have your team go to A, act like they're committing, then after like 30 seconds, that's when you teleport to B, and you have your whole team, as soon as you teleport, wrap immediately, just start sprinting. And usually you can get the bomb down 100% without being contested, and then you can set up and defend while your team is rotating in. And the other usually it's like a sprinting race from your team and the other team. Yeah, you can TP with the bomb, so it's like really, really good that you can do that. We have Phoenix. I've only played Phoenix a couple times, but just like before, you can curve his firewall, but I'm not sure if I can do it with my keybind. Let me see. I think I can. Yeah, I can. Okay, so you can curve his firewall just like you can curve Jett smoke, which is a very obvious thing. Most people know this already. It's just a feature in the game. If I hold down left click after I pull it out, I can curve it. I don't know if everyone knows this with Phoenix, but he has 3 different ways of healing. He can heal inside of his firewall. So you see at the bottom left it says healing. He can also heal inside of his thermite. These do not heal your teammates, by the way. They damage your teammates. And he can also heal in his ultimate. So if let's say I had 50 health and I used my ultimate and I ran, and after I teleport back from my ultimate, I will be at 100 HP. So it will heal me to 100 HP from wherever health I was at. That's pretty good. So if you do have 1 health and you're in a clutch situation 1v1, you're going to want to use your ult and challenge the guy. Even if you don't kill him, you're going to come back with 100 health. So you might have another chance to win the 1v1. His flash, a good tip for his flash is when you're using the flash around a corner. All right, so a lot of people, they'll go like this and throw it like that around the corner. But generally, what you want to do is you want to throw it over like this. Because if you flash like this, sometimes it won't hit the person that's playing over here. Or like playing, let's say, playing like right here. It won't hit them because the flash will be too low to the ground when you go around the corner. So if they're playing like this ledge and you flash on the corner and it's too low, then they might not even get hit up here. Whereas when you flash around the corner, a lot of the pros, what they'll do is they'll throw it upward. So it still hits everyone down here, but if anyone is playing on a high ground, then they're also going to get hit by that flash just the same. Next one is Raze. We talked about this during the last tip video with Raze about crouch jumping. So there's ledges on the map that you can use your C4 to get up into. So for this one, for example, you can just boop yourself up to normally. But there's some boxes on the map that are actually a little bit taller than this, to where you need to jump and crouch, and that will allow you to get on top of the box. Because if you don't crouch, then your body will be too tall and your feet will hit the side and you'll just fall off like that. This is a good example of the boxes on the map bind for A. On A short, right next to the teleport entrance that goes from A to B, there's a box at the main middle alleyway. You can only get on top of that box if you mine and hold crouch. You have to hold the crouch when you do it. So for his Roomba, there's not really a specific tip I have for this, but this is something I saw Jordan Fisher do, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna be able to replicate it, but when you throw down your Roomba, you can actually put your C4. You can put your C4 on top of the Roomba.
Go get him. Satchel
Oh.
out.
Let's see if I can replicate
Bomb
it.
buddy out. Bomb buddy out. Satchel out.
See that? You can put your C4 on top of the Roomba, which can catch people off guard. Like if they're trying to shoot it. There's very niche situations for that. I wouldn't say it's the most advanced thing that is like gonna be insane, like do this all the time, but it's still cool that you can put your C4 on top of the little Roomba thing. For his nades, things that you can do with the nades are, if you didn't know, obviously this nade is a cluster nade. It blows up, and then more nades come out of it. This also blows up midair. So if you were to throw like that, it'll blow up midair, and it'll cover a bigger area, which could be a good thing and a bad thing. It could be a good thing if you know that they're stacked up and you want to do a bunch of splash damage to a lot of different people over a different area. But it also is less likely to kill them. It might just do a lot of damage, which is good because you could break a lot of armors on the people. So at the beginning of the game, sometimes it's better to actually throw your nade up in the air to cover a more wide surface with the grenades. And then for the ultimate,
Here comes my master.
a lot of what you should do with the ultimate sometimes is C4 yourself midair. So it makes it way harder to kill, and you can give yourself some increased mobility around the corner. So you'll see people do this,
Satchel out.
and before you use your ult to get more likely kills. Like combo your C4 with your ultimate. Don't just use your ult and run around. Also, another thing is you can pull out your knife, run faster, then pull out your rocket, and do that, which is really important because let's say you use your ult and there's someone here, right there, or at least you think someone is there. That's what I meant to say. You think someone is there. Use your ult and you're about to shoot it and you're like, oh wait, no one's here, and you're like, come on, bro. And then you can pull out your knife, run a little bit quicker, and you say he ran over there. Then you can catch up to him and shoot your rocket at him. But just make sure you use your rocket before the timer runs out because you'll lose your ult. Alright, so that's all the raise tips. Next one is Sage. So for the res, the only real tip I have for the res is you should probably combo your wall with the res, because if you have a dead teammate right here and there's people over there, if you res him, he's going to get killed immediately as he gets resed. So what you should probably do is, put your wall up so you can res him behind the wall safely. It's worth it 99% of the time, even if you have to consume your wall ability to do it. What you could also do is you could put your wall like this. So you put yourself up in the air and res him, and then you can have an angle to work off of. So you're not like screwed. You don't have to like destroy your own wall through the checkpoint. You have your heal ability. I could be wrong in this, but I'm 99% sure if you heal yourself or your teammate and they take damage, it stops the heal. Correct, chat? So that's important to know that, you might not want to be using your heal ability mid-fight while people are taking damage, because I'm pretty sure that if you heal someone and they take damage, it stops the heal. Also, Sage's slow ability, just like the Brimstone tip, I was told that Sage has the same projectile as Brimstone's Thermite. So if you learn any cool Thermite spots with Brimstone or any cool Sage throws, then they work just the same. So where you can stand in the same spots and throw them across the map and get a cool perfect slow on a spot that you're trying to slow. And also a really, really good combo is comboing Thermite with Sage's slow, which is a very high level combo that is repeatable and very good, to where you can get your teammate, let's say Brimstone or Phoenix, and you can throw down the slow and they throw down the Thermite in the same exact spot. And anyone that's stuck in the throw will die to the Thermite because they won't be able to move out of it. So a really good combo ability there for two characters. Yes, you can also B-hop through the slow. This was found by Mendo, as far as I know. But if you try and run through the slow, then obviously you can't get through it. But what you can do is you can B-hop through it. And I'm not going to get too much into B-hopping, but if you B-hop perfectly, you can actually bounce. You can bounce through it a lot better than running through it. So something really cool. Remember how I talked about the planting spot that was really common on A? Something that's really cool with Sage is that you can actually plant the bomb right here, and then you can use her wall, and you can block the bomb in the corner. So the only way that someone can get in here to defuse the bomb is by breaking the wall. You can also do it so you can wall And make sure that you get yourself out of the wall by getting up here, so you're not stuck in the corner with it. Or you can start the wall on the outside. Either way, doesn't matter. You can get on top of the box. Make sure you don't get stuck. Really good for like clutch situations, 1v1, 1v2, because you could stall a lot of time, and then if they try and if they kill you, then they have to break the wall to get in and stall extra time. Using that, yeah, it's really good. You can do that on a couple different areas. Specifically that one there. On other maps, that's also a thing. Also, a really good strat for pro teams is they'll plant the bomb right here, and then they'll use the wall to block off that angle. So the only way you can get to the bomb is by either breaking the wall, going through that choke point, or flanking all the way around. So this wall is like extremely good because it stops anyone from attacking from this side of the A side. A drone tip. Do we have a drone tip? I don't think we really have a good drone tip. Like I said, I haven't played a lot of Sova, so... Oh, you could fly the drone through the teleport. Could you? You could, right?
Take flight.
Ooh. Fly a drone through the teleport. I guess that's a pretty good one. So if you're playing like A short, you can use teleport. You can use the teleport on the drone to cover a lot of space. If you're playing like right here, you can fly up, see here. If no one's there, you can also scout over here. You can open doors with the drone. Cover a whole lot of different space with the drone. Cover it that way. So that's pretty good. So for his charge ability, this could be the same exact thing as Brimstone, where you can learn some arrows across the map to stop people from defusing. I don't have a perfect example for this because I haven't played a lot of Sova, but it's the same concept of like learning a spot, getting here, and then shooting your arrow up. The projectile of Brimstone's arrows are different than the thermite, and you can also charge his abilities. So like this is going to go really far. I don't think that's going to hit the same spot as the thermite. But the reason I'm saying this is because if you do learn how to play him, you can learn like max range power level spots or short range power level spots for charging up his arrow, to where you get in like a specific spot and you shoot it and it will always go in this certain spot, which is really good because like let's say you're attacking B, you can learn how to shoot an arrow that perfectly lands right there. So if someone's playing there, you can hit them with your damage arrow and know for sure if they're there or not, or at least hurt them if they're there. Same with his sonar arrow. The best thing that you can do with his sonar arrow is learn specific spots in custom maps. Like I said before, I haven't played a lot of Sova, so I don't know these shots. But what you can do if you like playing Sova, go to a custom, learn a perfect arrow spot to where it covers like the entirety of B. So let's say it lands like perfectly on top of the box or something. So you'll stand like right here and you'll charge it to like the second line. And when you shoot it, it'll go perfectly. All right, so that doesn't go far enough. Let's say you'll stand like right here, for example. It's just random. You'll charge it up to like full power. And when you shoot it straight up in there, then it lands perfectly on top of B site. And it'll perfectly radar the entirety of B point. So I actually got pretty close. So you could go to a custom and you could figure out these spots yourself. And that's a super good way of having Sova arrow be extremely effective. Because having an arrow land here could cover that hall, could cover that, could cover a hookah, could also cover there, could cover that. So learning arrows like that will be super good for situations like that. Also, just the same as the Brimstone tip, you can use his ultimate to clutch situations. So if you have your ult and you plant the bomb right there, you can use your ult, stand really far away, and then you can stall really long amounts of time with his ultimate. And then after you're done, you can use your damage arrow afterwards to like finish up people if they're still alive or whatever on the bomb. But this is something that I'm just giving you the idea. This is something that you need to figure out yourself. I don't have specific examples for this, but it is plausible. DeFran has a video on sonar arrow spots. There you go. You can check out DeFran's video on that. All right. So what's next? Viper. Viper's the last one. All right, so Viper's one of those characters I haven't really played a lot, but same concept with Viper as Brim. You can learn spots with her poison, so where you learn like pre-spots. Let's say you stand on this rock randomly, you aim your crosshair here, then you shoot it straight up, and then that'll land perfectly wherever you want it to land. This is where you can go to a custom, figure out a bunch of different spots. I don't think the projectile is the same as Brim and Sage, but we can test it real quick. It might be. Actually, it looks kind of like it is. This could be really big if it is. It's not. Okay, so it lands a little bit short. So for example, just like Brim and Sage, you can learn spots that you stand in to get your poison to go exactly where you want it. So if you have like the bomb down in a specific spot, or if you want to clear like a corner, like you want Cubby to be cleared, you could stand like a certain area, aim a certain area, and get your poison to go there. That's for yourself to learn though. I don't play a lot of Viper. I don't know specific examples. If you guys don't know what a one-way smoke is, a one-way is to where you can see them, but they can't see you. So I saw a perfect example of a one-way smoke where someone put the poison orb right here, and it covered this door, but it didn't cover the feet. So if someone is like playing back here, then you could see their feet right there, but they wouldn't be able to see you because they'd be too close to the orb. I actually don't know where they put the orb at.
Poison orb emitted.
That doesn't work. It has to be higher. So they had to have put it like up here or something.
Poison's off.
But this is a good example of how you can learn. You can go around on a custom map by yourself, and you can learn how to do one-way smokes to where you can see them, but they can't see you. And it works whenever they're in a smoke, when they're close to it, and you have a lot of space to play far away from it, so you can see under and see their feet. I don't know where they put the smoke though. I wish I knew, because it was a really cool Viper spot.
Poison orb emitted.
I don't know. That's a good example to think about. If you want to go on your own and figure out cool spots, then you can do that. And then for Viper Ultimate, a lot of people don't realize this, but you can actually, there's a little bit of range on it. So you don't need to risk yourself using your ultimate. If you have the bomb down right there, you don't have to be on top of the bomb to use your ult. You can actually stand like a little bit around the corner and throw it. So you'll know that it's gonna hit the bomb, and you'll have all the space covered. So you still have the bomb controlled. Where it's a lot more risky to be standing in the open to use your ult. That's a pretty generic tip. I don't play a lot of Viper, and to be honest, like, her ult isn't something that's gonna have like a lot of uniqueness to it like that. But just so you guys do know, with Viper Ultimate, it actually covers a surface area. It doesn't just cover like a specific thing. So like, let's say a bubble in Overwatch, like Winston's bubble, right? If you use his bubble, it'll go through walls, and it'll only cover where you put it down. But Viper Ultimate, if I use it in the showers here, it's going to cover all of the showers, and it's going to exit out through the doors and cover more outside the doors as well. So it covers like this whole surface area, and it stretches out here and goes over this way. So it covers all this space. It's not just like a little circle when you use it. So it covers a whole bunch of area. This ult is so good, dude. It's crazy. You can learn spots for ult so there are corners that aren't covered. You can strategically go in and out of. Yeah, true. And the cool thing is, like, you lose your ult, the fuel level, if you're out of it. But if you go back in, it regens. So it's not like, you know, I could be out of the smoke for this long, and then when I go back into it, it regens. So it keeps it lasting the whole time. I feel like they might rework it eventually to where it doesn't regen, but we'll see what happens. Depends on how good Viper really ends up playing out to be. All right, cool. We're done, chat. We covered it for an hour. We covered every character, a bunch of different things, tips, and ideas. Did it last the whole round? Yeah, it lasts until Viper dies or until she's out of the ultimate for an extended period of time. So if you're at the start of the round, were to use your ult and stay at A, it would just stay there the whole time as long as you're alive. But that's probably just gonna force them to go B, so I don't know.